Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including RWBY, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
And Sarah Potter.
Hello.
Back for RWBY. Yep, I'm back. Couldn't stay away. It's chapter 9 of volume 7 of RWBY. As above, so below.
Worst title, quite possibly.
No,
ever.
don't say that, Delaney. There's definitely a worse title that
No,
exists.
no, I think this is it. I'm gonna plant my flag in the sand right now.
But did you know that this is apparently a saying, like an occult saying?
Oh God, I hate
that. It is, and it's annoying. This is
okay. So it makes it worse. Gotcha.
It does make it worse.
I had not heard of this saying, but yeah, do you understand though that Atlas is like above Mantle?
What? Do you mean like they literally just said that in the episode like 3 times? Don't forget, Atlas floats in the sky. I got it, guys.
Yeah, did you remember that Atlas?
I got it.
Oh my God.
This is what I was missing, but we're back. So yeah, thanks Beatrice for those the last two. But I'm back for the very notable episode, and make sure you've seen this one. Overlyanimated.com for RWBY podcasts, and a bunch of other shows that we cover. Yeah, spoiler warning, but let's get into it. Delaney, walk me through all your reactions because a lot happened this episode.
Get wrecked, Jacques.
Yes, that's a main one.
Weiss is great. Okay, I know like a lot happened in this episode, but I kind of didn't care about like any of it. Okay. I don't know, like, can we stop having episodes where we just have meetings in a room? Like, it's so boring. But so we finally told Ironwood, and that went well. So that's a thing. It was. I think they were playing it for to be climactic that Ironwood like told everybody, but then it like wasn't really. I don't know, because obviously we're getting to the end, but it feels like it's coming very slowly.
Yeah. So
I'm not really sure kind of what's going on. Weiss is great. Weiss was like, boom. She just lawyered her dad. It was awesome. And then Winter was like, yes, Weiss. So that was good. Everything with that's great.
Yeah.
Whitley's going to be evil and do something sketchy. So that's something.
Yeah, your favorite.
I know. I love Whitley. He's great. Oh my God. Neo was in this episode for no reason. So that was something.
It was a reveal. They're back.
Ooh, guess.
They're back.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about that.
But yeah, my feelings are get wrecked, Jacques.
Get wrecked, Jacques. Okay, that's good. That's good thoughts. That is, I would say, that's the headline of the episode, or the main thing that happens is Jacques got wrecked. Okay, Sarah, what's your reactions to As Above, So Below?
Why did you say that again? You didn't have to say the title.
The title of the episode.
Not important. Okay.
I hate it. I hate Jacques just like completely went out of character to get wrecked, and I'm kind of fine with it because it means we're moving on with the plot finally. There were some cool moments, like little things I liked. Okay, I liked this in a bad way. I liked Weiss asking, can I do this, when she arrested her dad? Because I'm like, yeah, Weiss, same. Can you do that? I don't know. Like, the show didn't tell us if she could. They just, like, moved along. I still don't know if she could.
I'm pretty sure Huntsman just can't arrest people in her, but I guess they're registered in Atlas, so maybe since they're
maybe she could do that. But the show
are there police? Like,
who knows? The show literally did this thing where they're like, we're gonna lampshade this thing that the audience doesn't know about, and then they didn't follow up with what they can actually do.
What if
you can't lampshade things we don't actually understand?
Can they arrest Grimm? This is the important question.
Yeah, can they? Maybe they can.
Yeah, aren't Huntsman?
You broke the law.
Huntsman's main purpose is to arrest Grimm in a way, isn't it? But no, you're right. It's like they're making a joke that it's like, it's unclear, but the audience knows the answer. But no, we don't really know.
No, we don't. Yeah. You need to clarify. Are the Huntsman police? Are the Huntsman just like?
I before this point, I'd never thought that the Huntsman could arrest people. I didn't think they could do that.
Like, I like how they're like, you have to have a license to kill Grimm because that makes sense.
No, that makes no sense, Delaney. You need a license.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, they were like, oh, now you have your license. Okay. Like, what does that mean?
Okay, we're sidetracked. Continue with the other parts of the episode.
Okay. I hate this episode because there's so much stupid stuff in it.
Yes.
Just like, I'm glad we're out of the party, one. because it means we might be getting fights the next few episodes. Like, I kept saying, like, I hope we're really just, like, backloading all the fights, and it seems like we're doing that, because it seems like we have no space left for any amount of, like, talking anymore, which, saying that out loud means we're definitely going to have just purely talking next week, and I hate it. But I'm hoping that we just fight next week, and we finally just get cool fight scenes and music, and maybe anybody, like, being nice to each other. But I am so bad about the Bumblebee stuff in this episode, and I am, like, seething with anger right now.
Oh, I like it. That is the best type of RWBY podcasting, is when you're seething with anger, as we often are.
Which is every podcast, because RWBY sucks.
Like, I can't. I don't think it's time to talk about it yet, but I'm, like, so mad. I'm so mad about this.
I thought they were going to hold hands, and they didn't.
Yeah,
I was like, why
they
were
were supposed to. They did the hetero one, and then they went to the gays. It's like, nah, we can't do that with the gays.
Are you perhaps mad because there's maybe 10 ships presented this episode, and Bumblebee is, like, not even in the top 10 of most screen time?
They're not even like a ship in this episode.
I mean, they have that meaningful look. I don't know what's going on. Did they have a fight? Like, what the heck, guys?
Red and Nora hold hands. Bumblebee look at them, and then they do nothing about it.
Oh, yeah. That I was also enraged at. No, they're not having a fight. The episode just doesn't care about showing them this time.
They need to build up to it.
Also, like, I don't understand why we had to hold Ren's hand. We go and fight Grimm all the time, guys.
I guess because Ren has been angry about stuff in the past. We did this arc about Ren and Nora aren't on the same page. I don't know.
Well, Ren's trauma is that his village was, quote-unquote, saved from Grimm by huntsmen, but they didn't help any of the villagers. They just hunted the huntsmen. And so his trauma is like, we gotta help people and not actually just kill Grimm for fun.
Okay. That's the entire...
My job happened in season 4 because no one remembers.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, but...
but my thing is, that's not even what happened, though. Like, everyone died.
I know, Delaney. I'm just like, that's what they're trying to do.
What I was going to say was, good, but that's the end of our Ren and Nora discussion. Moving on.
Yeah,
for the entire podcast. Yeah, they hold hands. It's nice. Okay, so we'll get back into the Bumblebee anger. I like that. I always want to tap into hosts' anger on our RWBY podcast.
I think you should just go, Dylan. Like, I'm just gonna be mad if you keep telling.
I'm going. Okay. I mean, I'm very angry at a lot of parts of this episode, but I'm also extremely happy at a few things. Like, my biggest, I will say I like this episode less upon rewatch. So I'm not gonna say it's amazing, but when I was watching it after the last 2 weeks, I was just very upset with this show, very bored, and very done with the plot. This week, I am saying my reaction was, thank God, the biggest sigh of relief I've had in RWBY. The plot has finally come, like, after 9 episodes, they finally figured out who Watts was. The show had been trudging along in the stupidest, I shouldn't say stupidest. I personally really, really hated this, like, Watts mystery plotline, like, and focusing on Tyrion and Watts behind the scenes. And this episode, we finally coalesced that. I think that stretch of 8 episodes trudging through that plotline is like one of the slowest stretches in RWBY history. And yes, I know Volume 4 exists. So I'm very happy to be past that.
Does it feel like we did this for a reason even? Like, it doesn't seem like we got anywhere from doing this.
I really think they could have done this in literally 2 episodes.
Yeah, well, and also they're literally like, he's supposed to die, and then they don't talk about it anymore. And I'm like, this is stupid.
The reveal justifies my feelings about how bad of a mystery that was. But I'm very happy to be past it. The other big thing is Neo and Cinder back at the end of this episode was such a sigh of relief for me because I was so upset at the show for sidelining them this season. Like, I was going into this episode, there are 3 things that needed to happen to prevent the biggest RWBY rant you'll ever hear at the end of the season. Like, I was going to go off on this. 3 things needed to happen, and 1.5 of them happened this episode. So this is like big progress here. Neo and Cinder are back. That was 1. If they just had them sprinkled throughout Volume 6, getting them to Atlas and then did not show them at all this season, that would have been so terrible. But okay, we're holding it to reveal now. Fine. Good. Like, that scene, it wasn't even particularly good on its own, but they're back, so I was so happy. Okay.
This scene isn't good, but I care more about everything that happened in this scene than anything that Watts and Tyrion has done.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes. They're so much better than Watts and Tyrion.
Yeah.
So Yeah, and then the other thing that had half happened was to get the plot more interesting, and we're past the thing that was not interesting, so maybe we'll be interesting now.
They jumped out of a like a VTOL. It must be getting better, Dylan.
This episode is, in some ways, the most nuts episode of RWBY ever. Because so much happens, and some of it is so stupid. Like,
is this the triptych of RWBY, Dylan?
It is, and like this is the RWBYest RWBY episode. Like, and I say that really in like a neutral way. Like, I was gonna say I say that in a good way, but I don't really mean it like that. Like, there's like I do think this is the third best episode of the season, behind the two that I'd mentioned before liking. But like there's some, and that's me like hating some stuff this episode, just because like it moves, and there is some stuff that I think is good. We'll get to it. I'm looking over the outline. Nothing's popping out of me. I'm sure we'll get to what I think is good. But there's there's one scene where they just decide to have everyone like flirting with each, like,
except for Bumblebee.
I don't understand how this show went from we don't do romance to this episode presents 10 legitimate possible couples in it. It's so crazy. Yeah. There's we haven't even gotten to the most infuriating part, but like,
I refuse to name it.
The main thing is at least things are happening here. That's I was very happy watching this episode because things were happening again. And I don't even particularly like most of them happening. It's so much better, even if bad things are happening, that things are happening. Okay, that's my.
Well, especially like we kept having like random Grim attacks, and now we're finally like, yep, they're coming. They're coming.
Yeah, we'd also been building to a fight for a while, and we hadn't gotten it, and now there's Grim charging. Then we still don't get to the fight, but they're here. The Grim are here at least. That's good. Okay. What's the headline here?
Grim are here. I think you just said it. That's the headline.
No, I think the Jock stuff, and I do agree with Delaney that the parts of this episode that take place in a dining room are the worst parts. It's better dining room stuff than we saw the last episode, but
it's reverse Korra. I just realized that. It's like it's reverse Korra.
In Korra is the talking point for me previously. Korra's the best dinner scenes. Like they just cut to people talking around each other. This show does have
I think it's like he's trying to do that, Dylan, and they're just not doing it.
I mean, I think so. Like, what happens here is fine. The problem is these characters are just talking about a plot that's not interesting, but they are finishing this plot. Yes. I'll say that.
Like, also, as per usual, when the show isn't about Team RWBY, the show falls flat. So,
oh man,
yeah. So I will say this episode mostly not about Team RWBY. Weiss is somewhat in the spotlight. I think it's less than it seems. Like RWBY has some moments. Blake and Yang do not do anything.
Correct.
Yeah. So, not the biggest Team RWBY episode. Ironwood, much more screen time. Winter.
Like, we've gotten Game of Thrones. Like, it's really irritating. Like, I don't care about the Aesops. I don't care.
Okay, we'll get into the Aesops here. So Jox's fall from grace, and he gets arrested at the end. After... I didn't know it would be so easy as, after watching last episode, as Weiss just brings in the video that her mom showed her and plays it.
That was shocking to me. I wasn't prepared for that either. I was like, oh, we're just doing it right now. Okay.
This is the least convoluted solution RWBY has ever presented to a problem. How is the show they show Weiss watching a video and she just brings the video into the other. This is so un-RWBY-like. I mean, I like it because it's so not convoluted.
Like, I thought we were going to have like a whole episode where like they have to meet with Team RWBY and watch the video and then like...
right? This could be 10 episodes for this show. Like,
yeah.
She just brought it in.
Like, well, I'm also shocked too that they like went ahead and they were like, we're going to tell Ironwood. Like, I was shocked that this happened in this episode. So I think that's another reason why this episode is satisfying. Like, I disagree with Dylan. I don't think this episode's like a great episode. Like, I don't think it's like awesome or anything. I don't
think I said it was a great episode.
I don't think Dylan said that.
I did say it was the third best of the season.
Okay, that's fair. But like, I wouldn't even put it up there, but I don't know. Like, to be fair, the bar is very low for this season at the moment. But so we get Jacques arrested, and then we get Ironwood tells the truth, and he tells everybody, and then they tell Ironwood. So, like, I do think this is like a nice little package, and it's in episode 9. What? That never happens. So
this could have been the finale, yes, but this is the RWBY like finale that sets up all the fighting. Like they do tend to do.
Like I can't believe it. So we had Weiss. She brings the video, and it was like, wow, we figured all this out right now in this episode. And then, so I think it's not so much. It's not like it's done well, but it's just like I'm glad that it's happened now.
It's over. It's over.
Like I'm just glad that they decided to finish it now.
I think I'm going to recant on the third best episode. I'm going to put this at number 4 behind the episode 6, episode 3, and then I think 5. I'll put 5 above this. That was the one that was like 3 segments stitched together. Because I'm like, this ad episode is just so much more well put together in this episode. But maybe we'll talk through it more. Then we'll get there. But yeah, no, Weiss just brings it in, and then Jock is finished, and that's it.
And then I did really enjoy Jock being like, "It's great." Like, you idiot.
Yeah.
Here's one of my stupidest parts of the episode. So this is a low-key stupidest part of the episode. Weiss, they're all like, Dr. Watts, and then the male council guy immediately among seeing Dr. Watts stands up and says, "That's impossible. Dr. Watts died in the Paladin incident years ago."
Which tells us nothing.
Stupid.
I just like, this is...
It's the most RWBY thing ever.
No, it's like, this is your reaction. Immediately stand up and yell this line upon seeing Dr. Watts.
It's like Tenzin. It's great.
That was a Tenzin line. But, oh my!
This entire season to Korra.
Oh my god!
But RWBY wants to be Korra, and
it really might
and maybe one day in Volume 13 it will accomplish that.
They're trying to not be Korra in some ways, but
I don't know.
The more they try to not be, the more they are the bad parts of. But
yes.
So I hated that line. But yeah, no, it's just Dr. Watts is in the open now, and then we rewatch the video, and here's not low key, but one of the worst parts of the episode is we have to see the end of episode. I don't know which episode again.
Yeah, it's so dumb for no reason.
Dr. Watts says, "Have your cake and eat it too."
Okay, but I like how that is what incriminates Jacques. That's it. Like that line, they're like, "Oh, Jacques." And it's like, really? I had to listen to that line, not like for the second time. Are you serious? Yes. There was no reason. Like, my thing is like, so this is what's irritating to me about this episode. So it's not like I needed all of it rehashed, but they made the conscious choice to not show us Ironwood telling everyone about Salem. But then they made us watch the entire video.
So there's some commentary in Discord I saw that was interesting about how like a lot of this episode is people seeing information that we've known already. This video is one part of it, yeah. Like we had to watch the video again, so they have to say the cake line, I guess, to reestablish the end of the episode. But it's just like anytime you end up saying your worst line of the season twice, it's like, I don't know what went wrong here.
Why did they do this?
They could have just started the video from after but we see beyond where we saw it in the episode, so they keep going, and then like we see him, the Watts says, "I'll win you the election if you give me your credentials," and that's it. And then there's a lot of talk about credentials, and all the credential stuff is like the type of thing this season, which I don't like, which is just like nitty gritty Atlas hacking politics stuff.
Also, it's stuff that like we don't care about at all, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really
like it doesn't matter how Watts turned the heat off, but he did. Though I did appreciate they did like the little nugget of when whatever the dude comes in and tells Jacques that, and Jacques like that was nice,
and then
like,
that comes back later. I think that was pretty good. Yeah, that guy had bunny ears, by the way, but you only see them for see them. But I was like, I didn't notice the first time. The second time, I was like, you only saw that for 0.2 seconds. Like, why did they? What's the purpose of having him have bunny ears if we don't show?
He was in the last episode, Dylan. The bunny was the waiter in the last episode too.
Why do you remember that? I just rewatched the last episode. I talked about this with
Beatrice in the last podcast.
Okay, I got only 10 minutes in because that episode bored me so much I couldn't do it.
Did you miss the actual good part of the episode where Weiss talks to her mom?
I watched that. But I wouldn't say that was the good part. That was a part of the episode. Yeah.
Wow, we're gonna have a fight if you were.
You complimented the Winter Penny. I agree. The Winter Penny scene was that was
the good part of the episode.
Yeah, Weiss's mom in this episode. That doesn't really do anything.
Okay, we didn't. I thought she was just gonna disappear for like forever again, and I was kind of happy with that. Like keep her just like this distant, like abused wife, but then she comes back and it almost feels worse that she's there and she like has a chance to help Whitley, like she tells Weiss to do, and she's just like, nah, I can't do that. It's like,
I will say that was something that I don't enjoy where we're going with this.
Yeah. Oh, what? The abused Whitley?
Well, yeah, like I don't enjoy the like how we're setting it up to be like at Weiss.
Oh, Weiss needs to do it. Yeah, no, we talked about that. Like, I really like Whitley being set up as like a character. Like, he's a child. He's being abused. This is not like he's not a villain. He's just a victim. But like, Weiss shouldn't be the person who has to do this because she's also a victim and also needs help.
Yeah. I think now that Jock is arrested, I think the mom is free to get Whitley out of there, right? Like,
yeah, but she doesn't. She has that opportunity and she does not.
Well, we cut away like that. We see him getting arrested and then we stop. I think like they're alone now. Like it's not like Jock is immediately.
Whitley runs away and she doesn't go after him, and like I think that's supposed to signify to the viewer. But again, this is RWBY, so who knows what is. Who knows what's going on?
This is what gets you frustrated enough to drop an F-bomb? Is
like this
Whitley?
Is it? This is
Whitley?
it? Really?
Frustrates me,
It's
Dylan.
just built up. Yeah, we'll get to Bumblebee. Okay, so
Dylan, I almost cursed like 4 times before this, and I stopped myself.
Good, thank you. Why it was the cake? We said the cake line in the video. Look, so yeah, the Weiss bringing the thing in feels very convenient. I'm not complaining because it moved the plot along, but I would say.
Well, the thing is, RWBY can do convenient things because normally everything is so convoluted that you're like, what is going on? So this is fun.
I think it's like frustrating because everything's so convoluted and this was so easy that it's just like why sometimes this is.
Well, why did this take 9 episodes?
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay, so keep going. Yeah, and then they all figure out it's Watts is behind it and Watts is teamed up with Tyrion. I just feel like their reaction justifies my frustration with this mystery. It's like it's 1 minute and they're past it and they're like, okay. Sure,
yeah, that's it. They're like, okay, cool.
Like Watts and Tyrion are the enemy. And
also, like, it feels really, like, it's not satisfying, really. Like, okay, one, Robin, I'm really irritated with this season and having, like, super convenient semblances for no reason. Like, it's dumb.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. And then, like, Robin's semblance is dumb. It's stupid. It's so dumb.
Delaney, but it's Toph, right?
It's dumber.
It's dumber.
Wait,
they have to agree to it, Dylan. They have to agree to it. It's like...
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean they have to? Did she say you have to agree to it?
No, you have to actually shake her hand. If you're not, it doesn't work.
I don't know.
Don't you just need to touch them? And I think she's just a good person.
I think that's true.
That might
also,
be true.
Like, Toph, her whole ability isn't, like...
Just that.
Toph actually is, like... She, like, understands the ticks for line. She can just figure it out.
Right, there's, like, a physical explanation
There's, like, this whole thing for Toph. But, like, this is stupid.
No, this is not. Look,
also, I'm really offended that you were like, it's like Toph. Like, I'm mad at you now. Okay,
it is, though. It is.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
That's not the same. Look, any semblance that's not a luck-based semblance, I will not complain about from here.
This is stupid. Anyway, it's dumb. And then, like, I'm very upset that, like, granted, maybe we'll get a little bit more again, you know, right after the whole meeting was over, like, everything went very quickly. But, like, Robin's like, oh, okay. Like, I'm like, no, it's not, oh, okay. Just because now, like, oh, it's because Salem's bad. Like Robin has legitimate gripes. And it's really irritating. Like, because, like, the show is doing this where it's like, you're not rooting for Robin. So now I'm curious, like, was the Blake Yang stuff just this one-off thing where they told Robin?
Yeah.
Or, like, it's so frustrating. Because, like, I thought that would be a really interesting plotline where we have, like, Blake and Yang go off and kind of, like, do stuff with Robin, because, like, Robin is actually, like, unlike every other character that the RWBY characters have to deal with. They're not just some Robin's not like this authority figure trying to manipulate all these children to fight the biggest evil in the world. Like, Robin's trying to do good in Mantle, and I thought that was going to be a really interesting plotline. And now it's like Robin's like, oh no, you're right, this is bad. And I'm like, Bleh!
Yeah, it's like suddenly, now that we know about Salem, Robin's cause is diminished. Like, I will say, Robin is like, I had to specifically add her to the outline for this episode because she says a lot in this episode, but none of it really matters to the overall plot line.
No.
So
she's just exposition. Like,
it's just like Robin's just there to, like, because this character's
to
a
be
major part of
to.
this episode. She's just like, she's just kind of there. So I do really hope that her and her gripes are like about like conditions and Mantle and like Mantle versus Atlas and then workers' rights and stuff. Like I hope that really matters for the last
the goal would be like, because we can't have like, surely to God, we're not going to do this again for like the 5th time where Atlas falls, because that's annoying. So like we, let's quote unquote we win, or like we, fight them back enough. Like it'd be great if, Ironwood does lose his 2nd seat on the council, if they kind of like restructure the government a little bit, they actually start doing good stuff for Mantle. Like that would be nice if we actually like got somewhere.
Yeah, we like saw the reform in and
that's the thing, because like we haven't. So because the RWBY presents very interesting real world parallels, the Faunus and like the White Fang and all of this. It's really neat stuff. And then they're like, JK, it doesn't matter anymore. And I'm like, darn it, just explore it. Like, we kind of get there a little bit with the Faunus and the White Fang, like, almost. We're really close to it. And then here, it's like, okay, like, I don't want this to just, like, it can be a backdrop to, like, our big bad plot. It's fine, but, like, we need to, like, do stuff with it. And it can't just be, like, this conflict. We need, like, it'd be great if Robin actually does end up on the council. And then she actually, like, does really cool stuff and, like, improves, Mantle.
Yeah. If this is it for the Robin Happy Huntress stuff, then it was like not a good plot line.
Because this plot line is not compelling. Like that's the thing. Like not the Robin plot line. I mean, like right now, like I don't care about Salem. Like we have
Salem has always been the worst. This is a larger discussion. Yeah,
but like it's I think this is actually like the problem with the season overall. Is they're like, we can't kill Salem. I'm like, okay, I don't care. Like, and it's one of those, like, we can't kill Salem. It is a big deal. I did feel that when we found that out when we found that out, it was a big deal. But now we haven't gotten we haven't done anything. It was all about, like, we can't tell Ironwood. Oh, now we're going to tell Ironwood. And now we're just stuck. Like, I don't care. Like,
the status quo hasn't changed because of this whole thing. Like, right, it's still the same.
Yeah, and we haven't told, because, like, Ironwood doesn't have any idea what to do.
Like, imagine if, like, they did this, like, they told Ironwood, and Ironwood's like, I know. Like, he said, like, I know this, and I've already incorporated into his plan. Like, that would be a different status quo. That'd be, like, a surprise or something. But instead, he's just like, okay, sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want us to end up, like, having I can't say it, Deus Ex Machina.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Every time I say I can't say this word,
Yeah, let's try to predict the Deus Ex Machina that's going to kill Salem at the end of the show. No.
Yeah, I'm like, what character are we going to encounter in the next 4 episodes that's going to piss me off?
Well, we're not going to like resolve it. So yeah, I want to focus more back on the specifics of the episode, but I definitely agree in general. A big problem with the show right now is the overall Salem plotline. The macro Salem plotline,
and this is supposed to be more satisfying. Like we're kind of at that point. Like now Ironwood knows, but it's like nothing's changed. Now Ironwood just knows.
Yeah, it's just.
I will say I appreciate that. Like this whole thing. Like I don't want Ironwood to be mad that we didn't tell him. Like it's stupid. So at least we're like all on the same page, and like I don't want Ironwood to be our enemy. Like he's chill, it's fine.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
I just talked about something Delaney said a little earlier, really quick, in the thing beyond the like Salem stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because like earlier you were talking about like the Faunus stuff and how that was like they should dig into this stuff, and that's my whole frustration with Penny this season. Like they have this like Penny, they've been like touching on this idea of her like whether she's real or not. I'm like, let's dive into that. And like instead of doing that, we just like sidelight her every single time. And it just makes me upset every single time. Because I think that's like an actual interesting discussion. And then like they introduced a trans character, but that's a whole other angry thing at the end of the season, I think. But they could have gone on with that, and they haven't done that either. Like it feels like they have this great discussion they could be having after introducing these ideas, and then they just don't do it. And it's like it makes me more upset than if they just didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, I like that overall point that we're making, that they haven't delved into interesting things that they're bringing up. Penny, yeah, I agree. Penny hasn't been well handled this season. She's more of just like in service of the main plot line, like as like a protector thing. She's framed, and like that's been her main purpose. We haven't really justified bringing her back.
And then we're like, oh, she has, I can't remember his name. Her dad.
Pietro.
Oh, I did not remember his name at all.
She has his aura. That's like, holy crap, that's a lot of really interesting stuff. And then we don't talk about it ever again.
That was the most interesting thing brought up, but it was just posited. It wasn't delved into yet.
But I mean, like, the most interesting thing to me is, like, I think the end of the season, end point for Penny is, like, joining the Happy Huntresses and them, like, acknowledging, like, she's just as much a girl as they are. And I think that'd be, like, an interesting parallel and interesting to, like, delve into, because it feels like that's where they're going. And why else would we include Robin in her storyline? Like, why else?
Yeah, I think that's possible. I don't know what the show's view of the Happy Huntresses is long term.
No. I agree, Dylan. Yeah. I'm saying they set up all these things and this makes sense, like, thematically. Like, if you were, like, any other show.
I think we gotta get Penny away from Ironwood. I think that's I think they'll do something like that. But there's just a lot of things. They've been kind of laser focused on this Watts mystery, Ironwood information stuff. Was it even a
mystery though? Like, we, the audience, knew the whole time.
You're right. It's not really a mystery. So we get a lot of information for it. Also, you guys mentioned the heat is off in Mantle.
I guess.
That's sad.
I mean, like,
I did appreciate that they actually said the line, like, people are going to die, like, the heat's off. So, like, I know that's dumb, but that is something that, like, I'm like, yes, okay. But then they also, like, steamroll right over that. Like, they're, like, I think that's another really annoying thing with this episode, because I thought Robin was going to call him out more when immediately Ironwood's like, he's so worried about Amity and, like, them figuring out getting in, so, figuring out all the stuff. And then Robin's like, tell us the truth. But I'm like, why aren't you getting mad at him? Like, our number one priority should be turning the heat back on in Mantle, and it's not.
Agree.
So that's, like, really frustrating. And I don't know if, like, right now, like, Robin was our character who was there to be like, y'all being dumb. And right now, I think they've kind of eliminated her as kind of like the straight man in this plot. So now I'm a little concerned.
I think the most frustrating part about this plot line is the fact that they, like, bring up all of this stuff. They bring up the, like, heaping offness being important. And Robin was mad at Ironwood about all of this. And then it's just, what about, like, Jacques? Jacques doing worse stuff. But it doesn't actually change any of her problems with Ironwood. Like, it doesn't change that. And she doesn't, like, delve into that. Like, I think she should still be upset with Ironwood. Ironwood has been kind of really bad to everybody in the entire country this entire season.
Yeah, I think that's back to what we were talking about before. This has kind of been sidelined, her actual problems with conditions and stuff. Yeah, definitely fair point. We mentioned Grimmer are charging Mantle. We got Elephant Grim back from Volume 2.
Apparently they're called Goliaths.
I'm a fan of them. I don't care about Grim
Aren't
names.
You a fan of every new Grim, Dylan, though?
They got the Sabretooth. That's a classic. I don't know if I'd say I'm a fan of the Sabretooth. I like it. They're fine. And you got Dragon Grims.
We do have Dragon Grims.
That was surprising because we saw the big one in.
Okay, don't even bring that up. I'm still traumatized.
The big one that's still frozen to the school.
Yep.
But there's got a bunch of little ones here. That's cool. So,
I'm excited about the big Elephant Grim.
Yeah, I like the Elephant Grim and the Dragon Grim. That's cool. So that's the promising setup for our action set piece through the last 4 episodes of the season, I would say.
We could still do the satellite, fighting on the satellite as it, like, falls through the sky, Dylan.
God, are we going to do that? We might do that.
We still haven't seen the flying monkeys, Dylan. They have to show up somehow.
Stop. Don't you dare say flying monkeys to me.
Also,
yes.
Do we have to have a fight all the time in this sky? Because we do.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can we talk about how dumb it was? Like, it was, like, the longest, like, the dragon attacked the ship. Yeah. And then it takes them, like, literally, like, 10 minutes to get off the ship. It is so annoying. It's so dumb.
Literally, the dragon isn't a threat.
They bust out the windshield. It makes no sense. It's stupid.
Dylan, did you love when Clover opened the door?
Okay, we're not there yet. The framing for that scene is that they all have to jump off, but yeah, it takes a long time.
It takes a long time. And then the thing is, like, we don't focus on anyone except, like, the people we don't care about.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, you guys are getting ahead of yourselves. Okay.
Let's all hug before we
Okay, Delaney, let's go. Let's start. You brought up a thing before, though. We haven't even got into it. All this information. Because Oscar, all the telling people about stuff. Because Oscar tells.
Let's talk about this. Oh my God.
I'm just gonna say what happened. If you guys have nothing to say, we can move on. Oscar tells Ironwood to tell the truth, and then Ironwood tells them all about Salem.
And then we had the whole, you talk about it like you were there. Great. I'm glad that we're here, and Oscar and Ozpin are the same person.
Okay. Let's set it up first. Delaney's coming in hot here. Let's set this up. So we'll come back to Rose Garden in a second, but they say let's tell Ironwoods. Then Oscar goes to tell Ironwood Salem can't be killed. Here's the exchange because it's very ambiguous. So I want your guys' takes on this. Oscar says he'd be proud of you. You're bringing back the hope that Atlas was meant to inspire. The city in the sky is held to a higher standard. Ironwood says, you say that like you were there. And then later, Ironwood says, Oscar, no more surprises, all right. I'm not sure I can take it. Oscar says, you and me both. So what do you think is going on, Delaney?
Oscar and Ozpin are like, either they have merged, whatever the stupid process is for this nonsense, or like, I think this was Ozpin's plan all along because he's a little jerk. Was that he was like, oh, I'm just going to go away and then me and Oscar are going to be the same person. It's great. Like, I think that's what's happening.
So you think Ozpin is in the process of taking over?
Yes.
Yeah, which is what we know is going to happen eventually anyway.
Right. I think
here's evidence that it's in process.
Yes, and I think it's one of those things that I wasn't sure how they were going to do this. And obviously it's like gross and it makes me like super mad. But I'm just, like, I wasn't sure how it was going to go in that, like, Oscar isn't aware of it. So this is fun.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we'll be getting any conversations soon, or Oscar just slowly going crazy.
So, yeah, Oscar's you and me both presumably means he's not aware of anything happening behind the scenes.
Which I think that would make sense.
But yeah, like last season we were predicting a hit reveal that Ozpin's actually been Oscar the whole time. Sarah, that's probably not what this is.
No, Dylan, I would be so upset if they reveal later, like, oh, it was Ozpin the whole time. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think they're doing that.
They missed their chance for the cool reveal. It's way too late.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you agree with Delaney, Sarah? Or you have a different interpretation?
I definitely think Oscar does not know whatever is happening here. And it's really gross, and the show is never gonna acknowledge it.
No.
They're never gonna acknowledge that this is, like, the grossest thing ever.
Yeah, but the specifics, I think, are important of, like, Oscar's not aware, right? But, Ozpin's starting to assimilate with him, and he's not even aware of it. This is a big deal, because we thought Ozpin wasn't active at all.
Right.
I think always were like, no, this is just, like, untrue. Like, he's definitely aware.
I feel like this is, like, we thought Ozpin might have been secretly in control. I feel like this is the least interesting direction to go with, like, a reveal is like, oh, actually, Oscar's assimilating. So I guess that's, like, the whole point of this is, like, it's starting to happen even if Oscar doesn't know.
I don't like it because it makes it out for Ozpin to be, like, seem less evil, which I, again, don't like. Like, they keep, like, over-exaggerating the good things Ozpin do and, like, making it out to be like these are bad things and the characters are mean about it, and then they take the really actually evil things and the characters are like, it's not his fault, and I'm like, this is actually an evil thing he's doing. Oscar is, like, undergoing identity death, like, in front of everyone's eyes, and we're not, like, talking about how horrible that is.
Yeah, and it's possible Ozpin's not intending to do this if he's asleep, right? And so, but,
like, if we make this out to he's a good person, like, I will be so upset.
Or that, like, Ozpin has any control over it.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the same...
Granted, I will say, like, it's still really gross, but I'm also, like, the whole assimilating, like, it's going to be Ozpin, like, you know, it's still all up for interpretation. We haven't, like, it hasn't happened yet. And the thing is, we only know Ozpin and we know Oscar. We don't know, like, how, like, you know, they assimilate. So it's like, are they, like, they're both there, like, they're one person, but they're like I'm not sure yet if this is really it's still gross.
Yeah,
but I'm still not sure yet if it's, like, you know what I mean, if it's all one or the other.
It just feels like it's gonna be like Oscar's gonna, like, join, like, the cloud or, like, the swarm of other Oz's.
Right, like, it's like, well,
but, like, Oscar is, like, gonna be a tiny voice in a giant, like, tsunami of voices.
That's the thing I don't understand, because it's like, obviously this show has taken a lot of inspiration from Avatar and Korra, and Ozpin is that reincarnation idea from Avatar. Well, Avatar does a really good job of, like, you're your own person, but you are part of this long line of collective knowledge. Like, Aang and Korra were their own people. And then once they were in the Avatar state, or they had access to this knowledge and they were influenced by, you know, like, the knowledge of their past lives, but they're their own people.
Yeah.
Because you can have good or bad avatars. Like, they're their own people. And so this is a very different, weird, like, I'm not sure, like, and I also don't know how they're intending it to be interpreted, because I don't know if they know that this is really gross. Like,
that's the whole problem, though. That's consistently the problem. I don't think they understand some of these things to be, like, the worst thing ever.
So the show definitely has presented it, from what we've seen up until now, as the person is kind of subsumed by Ozpin and they disappear into Ozpin. Yes. So that's like RWBY doing edgy version of that. Like RWBY tries to be edgy so that's the purpose of like not making them their own person. I'm not saying that's a good thing, obviously, but it could be different this time. That could be the twist, is like Oscar figures
is
out
too
how to
strong.
Yeah. But anyway, let's bring in we referencing it being gross. Let's bring in the Rose Garden aspect of it.
Oh my god!
Pretty tragic that Haley is not here.
Haley should be here. If any,
she's the biggest Rose Garden stan. I think this is the biggest Rose Garden scene in the show's history.
Yep.
Yeah, there's one scene when they're like volume 5 or something, when they're like on a rooftop.
This is more.
I'm vaguely remembering. I feel like this is.
The reason what makes this more is because we have this outside observer.
Yeah,
who acknowledges?
So Marrow at the end is like, ugh. Didn't Marrow scoff at Bumblebee earlier too?
Yes.
Okay.
So
at least
that's Marrow's only purpose, is to get upset at people.
To scoff at the children.
Yeah.
I have a headcanon that Marrow is just Ace, and he's just like, why does anybody want to need a relationship? This is crazy.
Yeah, like for everything I can see, this is not good. So they basically they say the same thing at the same time, and then they say good luck at the same time at the end. RWBY gives some finger guns to Oscar as she's.
That was horrible. I was like, RWBY, what the heck?
I didn't know. I thought she just gave a thumbs up. I didn't realize.
It's like
they were finger guns.
It's pretty fantastically terrible. So I interpret this scene as like definitely romantic flirting.
Yes, definitely.
You agree, Delaney?
I do, and it makes me like very upset.
So we've been discussing, I think, a few times this podcast is like, I've had a different opinion than some people here that I haven't seen RWBY and Penny this season as explicitly romantic. I've seen that more as like intimate, friendship, like Penny's not really capable of those feelings, but definitely on RWBY's side, like I haven't seen that as romantic. I see this as much more explicitly romantic from RWBY's side than Penny, but you don't have to agree, but like, what do you think, Delaney?
No, this is like, so, and this is kind of in combination too with like everything else that happens this episode. And this is very like, one, they've been going very explicit with RWBY and Oscar. It's hard not to ignore because RWBY doesn't interact. Like from season 1, like you get RWBY and John and she's like, "LOL, you're a loser." And like RWBY doesn't flirt with people. She doesn't like, RWBY just is RWBY. Well, then we get Oscar, and RWBY is awkward, but like this is like next level, like flirting, awkwardness, and it's been like this since we met Oscar. And Oscar is the only character who's like actually the same age as RWBY, and so I think that's a big part of it.
But he looks so much younger.
I think he's younger than I don't know. It's unclear how anyone.
Well,
if he's younger, he's like 2 years younger.
Yeah,
kidding.
Yeah, but like it's like very similar and. I think that's part of it is since RWBY met Oscar, it's been like this. So it's hard not to read this as like very much like we've gone kind of like full on.
Yeah, we've definitely had similar scenes before. Not in a while, but we've had
it's been a long time.
I think there's like romantic tropes that are presented with them talking at the same time. I think that's like a classic romantic comedy type. And then them being awkward with each other. I think that's another classic kind of romantic comedy type thing. Sarah, I feel like you're one that saw the RWBY Penny stuff as romantic. So do you see this as more clearly romantic, similarly romantic?
Yeah. More clearly? Yeah, this is more romantic, and I hate it, and I don't really want to talk about it, Dylan.
Okay, well, my big comment on the scene is that the audacity of this show to present the biggest, most clear romantic Rose Garden scene ever within minutes of hinting that Ozpin is in the process of subsuming Oscar is insane. Like
it's horrible. Like,
it's the same breath, Dylan. It's not even like within moments. It's the same breath. It's the same thought.
It seems so purposeful. Like it's like
that's
obviously
the thing I don't get, and like that's the thing that really creeps me out. Also, like Ozpin's weird. Like he's weird. Yeah,
and base level, obviously, like Ozpin is like RWBY's former mentor teacher person, and so the power dynamic of like Ozpin and like Ozpin even Oscar even becoming Ozpin or containing Ozpin, it's like unacceptable. Like
yes,
yeah. So that's the base level,
and it's really upsetting too, considering like it's just when the show begins, it's RWBY and Ozpin.
Yeah, that's right. Are they doing some grand romantic bookends? Is that what their intention is?
Really makes me very, very uncomfortable, especially since, like, literally when you're introduced to Oscar, you understand that he is Ozpin, and then, like, you get that they're two different people, but again, with the understanding that they will become one person, and then they keep doing the flirting. They keep doing it.
Right. It's always been weird because it's like, okay, this is weird. Why would RWBY's romantic interest be someone that's eventually going to be Ozpin? That seems very odd. In this episode, it does that times 10 because it presents them right next to each other, these two concepts. It seems very purposeful to me. The only thing that really makes sense is that they're doing a tragedy, a great like romantic tragedy with Rose Garden. Like
I would be okay with that.
It'll be a thing where they kiss.
Would like, you?
Right before Oscar goes away forever, and then the romance stops completely when Ozpin's there. Obviously, they're different people. It's not okay. But it's like John and Jim and Pyrrha be kissing right before she dies, right? Like some like romantic. Clearly, the show likes romantic tragedy. Like that's like I feel like the optimistic scenario, right? Like is that they're just presenting this tragedy.
My preferred would be like this didn't exist, but unfortunately.
Because the other option is that this is like some grand romantic thing, and it's not obviously RWBY's not going to date literal Ozpin, but it's like Oscar's strong enough, his personality's there, Ozpin's also there, they like merge, and then that character is still Oscar, and then RWBY and Oscar date. Like that's the worst case scenario. Like I feel like that's the other option, and that's really bad.
Hey, Dylan, you're not even talking about like the even further part of this, because in the flashback episode last season, we learned that people with silver eyes are children of reincarnations of Ozpin.
Right. Also, it's incestuous, right? Like it's on top of everything.
Incest here too.
I mean, it's like that doesn't. Who even really cares in the grand? Like, I feel like the him being much older, and also from the interactive before, and that on top of that
somehow,
is like,
somehow.
So, okay, I'm. That's my detached analysis. Like I hope it's they're doing
analysis.
That's my I'm not emotionally like I love the character RWBY. I think I love RWBY and Weiss. Oscar as a romantic interest for RWBY is very boring, and I hate it. And like that's like my personal opinion. Like this is I can't like why are we doing this? Anyone else?
What if I fix it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is not going to happen, but we're going to pretend. So, what if? So, people with silver eyes, children of reincarnations. What if it's like this deep familiarity, and then it's like, and it's not, and like they don't get it either. Like they're like, I don't know, but it's just like we're close, and it's like just kind of more like a familial bond, like they like a connection, and like it's like
siblings.
Yeah, or something kind of like that. Like this more like Ozpin's obsession with RWBY is because, and like Oscar is kind of infatuated with RWBY, but he doesn't like it. But it's not like it's more of this like this deep familiar bond.
Yeah, like that's cool, but that will never happen.
Exactly.
Like they Luke and Leia, and it's like, oh, we're siblings, actually.
Yes, actually.
Oh my god.
but it doesn't. There's exactly no reveal that would make. There's no reveal that would make sense. But like, yeah, no, I. But the problem is they're doing this romantically.
Correct.
Yeah, like,
I agree.
Like it's cool that Oscar is RWBY's age and like or is around that. But it's just like this is not interesting.
This is the worst possible. Like the thing is, if you imagine things, you're like, how could this get worse?
Honestly, like, I would hate it if it was Jim and RWBY. I, like, actually would hate that more. Like, I like Oscar better. But I know it's less problematic if it was Jim, but emotionally I can't do it. So, like, they're two terrible options.
I mean, they're both, for me, they're about equivalent.
Why not Pennywise?
Because I like Oscar. Oscar's great, but, like, the creepiness is, like, intense.
Why not Pennywise or keep RWBY ace? Like, why not, like, like, it's... The scene is, it's not, if you isolate the scene, it's not bad. Like, they're just flirting. But it's just like, it's bad because there's
so many better options.
It's like, why? I don't like this, why? And then it's right next to the creepy husband stuff, like right next to it. Yeah. I think given context of the show, this is like the worst scene of the episode. Yeah. Like, least enjoyable at least. And it's also like the biggest RWBY scene. Like she only really does stuff in this episode in the context of Oscar. So that sucks too. Does. Okay, I think that covers it. I thought we were done. I thought we moved past there. I thought we realized Rose Garden was good and we are done with bad and we are done with it. Nope, it's back. Okay, that's fine.
They sent off Oscar with Jim, which I thought was like the biggest like power move for like Jim's the like eternal bachelor now, and so is Oscar. And I'm like, oh, I guess that was false, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see what they do with this. This is not a good sign.
No.
Okay, the other stuff, we looked back at that ship scene. My biggest thing with the ship scene is, why is everyone suddenly flirting with each other? Or just at least being really intimate with each other? Yeah,
it's so dumb because, like, this entire show is like, no, we don't do romance, except there's our really tragic Jim and Pyrrha. But now we're like, oh, everyone's going to flirt with each other right now.
Yeah, so let's go through everything. That's Marrow in the background. Let's
also,
go through,
I do want to say, like, really irritating that they do very, like, bare minimum effort for their straight ships, and then they, like, bend over backwards to, like, make their gay ships, like, explicit, but then at the same time, they don't give us anything.
Yeah, it's like Nora and Ren hold hands. We talked about that. I mean, like that Rose Garden scene is pretty basic romantic tropes, right? Like, yeah. It's like, I do think some Bumblebee stuff has been basic tropish, but it's always like, purposeful and specifically placed. It's like, okay, this needs to be here to justify.
Like, I think that's what's so, I get why, but it's so irritating that like we've been so careful here and there, and then in this episode we're like, nah.
Yeah, it's such a like, I don't think they're intending romance with a lot of the ones we're going to talk about, but it's just like, it's such a weird change for the show. Yes, I think
I think that's what it is. It's very jarring.
Very jarring. So yeah, then with the hold hand, and then Blake and Yang just look at each other. Any further comments, Sarah?
About any of the flirting, or
about
just
Bumblebee? That's it for Bumblebee.
I got really mad earlier. I am still really mad. Okay. I am really mad that they looked at Nora and Red and they didn't hold hands too. But like,
yeah, they're like trying to do the parallel, but then they didn't mimic the parallel. It's very strange.
They had the perfect opportunity to mimic it and be like, yes, this is just as valid as the other relationship happening over here.
And like, I think that's what they're still trying to do, but like,
do it. They
but
did.
Why not? It's I don't understand.
I'm so mad. I am infuriated this didn't happen. Like, Dylan, I feel like I'm going crazy that I like recognize these basic storytelling beats and then they don't do it. Like, I feel like I'm going insane and I'm like, is this not normal storytelling?
No, I mean, I posted, that was my immediate reaction to the scene, like, too. There must be a reason. Like, that's all I can say about that. Or is it an animation thing?
The reasoning is that it's going too fast. They can't do it, Dylan. They don't want to go too fast.
So here's the overall picture with Bumblebee is, it's been, they should have romantically culminated them last season. Yep. Like, okay, fine, they just killed someone. Maybe let's take a minute. Okay, we should do it early this season. Okay, we didn't, sure. They talked, they get a talk. They don't talk about, they only talk about plot. I hated that. Okay, Here we are.
They do relationship stuff only when they're not allowed to talk. They like dance together or whatever.
Yeah. They give looks this episode. We have 4 more episodes now, and they better explicitly culminate them or I'm done. That's my position. Yeah.
I agree. Like, I think we're at the point where like I think we've joked about dropping the show before, but like this is actually getting to the point where I'm just like actually really mad about this, because they're like, this is getting to the point of queer baiting. Even if it does happen, like, isn't this queer baiting? Because they're making us watch every season and watch every episode for it to happen, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, well, I think
the queer baiting, I disagree on that. Like, we haven't reached it yet.
But I mean, like,
it's okay. This we'll do it. We'll discuss this for sure. I think it's if queer baiting is if they don't culminate it. So I think like they're probably. I mean, your mileage may vary, but I think if they do it this season, it's fine. It satisfies it. But I definitely think we're queer baiting if they don't because of some comments by staff and Rooster Teeth. That
if they don't do it this season.
They don't do it this season. So I actually think it's like textbook.
Okay, so like if they do it this season, I still think it's manipulative at the least, is what I'm saying. Because they're like,
I don't know,
because like if you watch their Twitter, they always tweet about all the rep in their shows and like almost nothing else pretty much. But if you actually watch the show, the rep isn't really a big part of it. And like they keep like touting it like they tweeted about fair game last week. And it was just like, this isn't real rep. You're just like trying to like, you're making whatever show you want and then like tweeting about all this like big gay stuff you're doing. And it's not actually happening that way in the show, in the text of your show.
Yeah,
and
there's a disconnect with how they're presenting it. They're trying to tweet about like what's the fans are reacting to most, but it's not the right way to handle it.
No, and I'm sorry. I'm just mad because I'm still mad about the trans character in the Huntresses. And I'm going to be very mad if she does not have like a thing in the season about it. Like she definitely will not, but I'm waiting before I get really mad about it.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I agree that will be really bad if not presented. Bumblebee. Like I do think Bumblebee is a big part of the early this season, and they continue to be a focus, but this episode they're pretty sidelined and they just look at each other, and it just doesn't make any plot like interpersonal character relationship or narrative sense if they don't actually do them soon.
Yeah. I'm reserving judgment for this end of the season.
Yeah, I still think there's a chance they do it, but you heard me in the podcast earlier. Like earlier in the season, I was 100% it would happen.
Yeah, it was going to happen.
It's down to 75
I'm a lot lower than 75%. Honestly, I'm like down at like 2% at this point. Like I just don't think it's happening. I think we're pushing it off more.
I'll just feel very betrayed if they don't do it. Like in a way that the show hasn't really. I mean, like the show's done some pretty bad things. This is like just presenting something, promising to do it, basically, then not doing it. I mean, it's like in line with the show putting off things for forever, but that's not an excuse. So we're like that's my number one story is like Bumblebee watch heading into the last 4 episodes, as it has been all season. But I guess we're still on the ship scene. We got to talk about those other new ships, right? The hot new ships we have.
Yeah, the new VTOL is really nice, Dylan.
It crashes, right?
It's really cool though.
Okay. Elm is holding on to Crow and Clover.
Yes, that was interesting.
I didn't think I don't think that's supposed to be romantic, but I was like, whoa, that was my reaction.
Well, it was like very much like
what is happening?
Well, it was a hug. Like it was like
it's like something happened between you three before. No.
I was like, what's going on?
It was very strange.
So we have the scene. Clover opens the door behind him without looking, and the dragon's behind. That's classic Clover scene. Shut up, Clover. You suck. That's my reaction.
Dylan, I love every moment Clover's on screen because I just think of you, and I watched this scene specifically, and I was just like, oh, Dylan's gonna hate this. And
I will say that's another thing is that they are. So I think it's like irritating, but also it might be a good thing. They are definitely playing Clover and Crow like.
But what if again, like they thought it doesn't happen this season? Like
but it's that one. I'm confidence won't happen, right?
No. And I don't really care about them not happening this season because I think like they're killing somebody off. Like I don't know, like.
But if they don't happen and Bumblebee doesn't happen, but Ren and Nora kissed earlier, that's going
to be bad.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah. I mean, the thing with Clover and Crow is if they don't mention their semblances, I'm good, and they didn't mention their semblance this episode. So,
but no, Clover's semblance was definitely mentioned with the dragon thing, Dylan.
It's like lampshaded because he just jumps out or something.
Well, no, he just doesn't care about the dragon because he knows his semblance to take care of it.
So that's him being cocky innately is referencing his semblance. So I just can't like him. Yeah. Even though I actually find him charismatic and fun, but I hate him despite that.
Dylan has a crush on Clover and he's mad about it.
Yeah. Basically, right? Yeah. Like it's.
I think that's what's the problem.
Clover's a good personality.
Like he's hot and cool, but like screw him.
This is why Dylan's mad.
Like, stop
if he was exactly the same character but didn't have the semblance, like all these things kept happening to him, but he just didn't say it was the semblance why it was happening. Like
he was just like a cool James Bond type. Like that's great. Just don't have the stupid semblance backing him.
Dylan has a crush on him.
If you just had a different thing, if you had a different semblance.
God. At the end, Clover salutes Crow, and then he falls backwards off the plane, and Crow's like, show off.
So that's gay.
That was gay.
Yeah.
Gay.
Sarah, you ruined this for me by bringing up that this is like tinted by Clover's semblance, but I actually like this scene. But now that you mentioned that the only reason he's like falling off and Crow's annoyed by that is because he's good luck. Like, oh my god, stop. Yeah, I hate it now.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
it sucks.
That's exactly what's happening.
It
Dylan.
sucks. This just so one note. Okay,
okay.
I mean, like,
Dylan. I'm sorry. I need to bring something before we move past Clover, because after watching this episode and like going over what we have left in the season, Clover is definitely getting stabbed by Tyrion's poison, just to like mirror Crow in the previous season.
I guess my good luck ran out.
Or like, no, right? He's gonna protect Crow. Like that's what's gonna happen, Dylan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I feel like we called this when we talked about things that could happen with the two of them. Is like, I thought I was the bad luck one, and then they kiss before he dies or something.
Correct.
Like, yeah, no. By the way, when I say I hate it, I'm being tongue in cheek. Like, I do think the semblances are genuinely very stupid and bad storytelling, but I find their interactions fun in spite of it. So, it's more of a playful I hate it, to be clear. Anyway, the other romantic thing is, Elm and our new hot ship, Elm and Hare. Elm says, Harriet, don't stay too long. Yeah, thanks for the tip. But it was like really flirty the way they said it.
Also, it doesn't make any sense because Crow and them stay longer. It's dumb.
And then in response, she punches out the windshield and leaves.
So
but then, yeah, right. The Crow and Clover is still there. Yeah. Delaney, what do you like? The Hare and Elm?
I like barely know their names. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't think you care enough about these.
Like, I know all their names because Dylan refuses to learn them. I think.
Like, I just don't care. Like, Harriet's fine because like her and Ruby are cute, but like I don't care. Yeah,
Elm isn't much of a person. Yeah.
I mean, Sarah, she's cool because she's like huge, but like that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you shipping Harriet and Elm, Sarah?
It's another gay ship that won't happen, but I mean, like, they're cute. Like, I mean, like, this is just a classic, like, big gay, small gay thing. Like, that's all there is to it, though. They're nothing characters.
Yeah, I was like, I interpreted Elm with Crow and Clover earlier as something going on. So I was like, whoa, Elm, a lot of stuff happening with you. That was my reaction, but no, they're good. But it's like, why now? Why this?
Yeah,
like,
why any of this?
This show's really this season is a big pivot from no romance to a lot of romance, or at least flirting and stuff.
And only I'm not gonna. We're already.
This ship scene was fun. I think this was probably the funnest scene of the episode.
I'm okay with these teasing scenes if the gay ships actually happen sometime.
Yeah, you're right. Like, it's dependent on stuff happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they were talking on Twitter about how originally in like the scene with like Robin and Wooloo at like the like rally thing, originally Robin was going to lean down and say thank you, and they thought that was too romantic. Like it was just not right for the moment.
Oh, you also have Wooloo and Robin. That's another ship.
Yeah, they're totally gay, and they totally haven't happened yet either.
Yeah. I think it does make it worse if Bumblebee doesn't happen, if they have all these like teasing other side character ships and they also don't do anything. I think it just makes it worse.
It makes it so much worse.
Yeah. I mean, Crow and Clover is the only one that actually has a chance of doing anything in the last 4 episodes, other than Bumblebee, like in terms of gay ships.
Okay, I don't know how I'll feel, Dylan, if fair game happens, but not Bumblebee. Like,
right? Does that make anything? Does it make it better? We'll think about it.
I don't know.
Probably, right? It probably makes it a little better. It's like we're taking our time on Bumblebee, but here's this other gay ship that did culminate. It's like. Okay.
Like, I feel so upset that I'm not going to just be purely happy about it because, like, I like their ship a lot, other than their semblances. But why is this going so fast compared to everything else?
Yeah, it is going very fast. I feel like they've hooked up already, but
they have off screen. It happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time.
They're already sleeping together off screen, and Ruby's Ruby knows. I bet.
Ruby's like TMI, Uncle. Stuff like that.
Yeah, no, she's totally just like Uncle Crow. Like I know you're dating him. You don't have to like hide this from me.
Okay, well, more fanfic on that later. So that scene's fun. There's your requisite fair game discussion. It's like every episode too. It has a scene last episode.
They're doing it so hard, and it's not going to happen. Everybody's so mad.
Yeah. Whitley is sad.
Whitley is sad.
We talked about that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing with Whitley. Is this it? Is it just this might be the last we see of him and Mom?
And I would say in this season.
Right. I mean, he could come back 4 seasons later, but if this is the last we see Whitley, it's like, okay, we just brought him back because we had to, and we didn't really do anything with it. The concept of like Whitley's just upset because you left him with us, that's like it's a good concept, but we didn't dive into it.
Like, okay, as someone who was abused as a child, this is so frustrating that they bring this up and then they don't go into it. Like, it's just like, why? Why?
Right, like it's something Whitley might actually feel, but it's like it should be talked about, right?
Yeah. Why are we just like mentioning it then moving on? Like these are the actually interesting things we could be talking about in the show, and then we just don't talk about them.
No, we gotta go fight the Grimm.
Yeah, again, and I like the fighting.
I'm happy about fighting.
But why weren't we fighting when we were doing the boring Watts stuff? Why were we doing the fighting when there's the interesting character stuff happening that might actually be interesting?
Okay, so we'll see if we see Whitley again. Neo and Cinder. I can't tell you how. I think Delaney expressed upset because the scene was random, and I agree. I can't tell you how happy I was to see Neo and Cinder in this episode. I was so relieved because this is just like, I was infuriated that they wrote them off this season.
Dylan, I was so upset when I saw them because I saw them like, oh, I know what Cinder's doing, and I'm like, oh, that's why I hate Watts and Tyrion because I have no clue what they're doing. Like, I see Cinder and Neo, and I'm like, oh, they're trying to get the maiden, because Cinder has clear goals, unlike the other villains in this show.
Yeah, already more interested in what Neo and Cinder are doing than
Yes, 100% more interested.
So Neo was the servant that came up, like, once in the episode or something, and then she, like, I think it would be cool if they seeded this throughout the season, if this was like someone we saw in Schnee Manor in multiple episodes, but it wasn't. Like, it was just this episode.
No, what I want, Dylan, is like a bunch of flashbacks, and like we see who Neo was in every episode.
Neo was this person. Neo was all
Neo
these random.
Everybody.
Neo was the person that got murdered by Tyrion. She actually wasn't murdered. No.
You're saying no, but you would honestly like find that scene to be absolutely.
It would be very funny. I'd be up for that. That would be much more funny than the stupid humor scene from last episode with Team Ranger.
Yeah.
I didn't get to the part of the podcast if you guys liked that or not. I hated that scene. The Neo transforms and she's Neo and she looks the same. Cinder comes out and has on a new outfit, and we'll get back to that in a second.
Her outfit is dumb.
Wait, okay. Delaney, fight me.
Dylan.
But 1 second. Tell me you found what you've been looking for, and then Neo smiles. So something that happened this episode triggered Neo, like was something they wanted, or like Team RWBY went out and started fighting.
The maiden.
The maiden, yeah, maybe Neo figured out the maiden stuff. I don't know.
Like, I think because Cinder wants the maiden powers.
But the maiden stuff's not at Schnee Manor, though.
Granted,
no. Doesn't Cinder want to kill RWBY?
They also want to, like...
kill RWBY, yeah. And it's like maybe RWBY's in the open now.
Well, they hate RWBY, and also they hate Watts and Tyrion, so she might also be like, oh, we're gonna kill Watts.
Oh, man, if Cinder was, like, a third party in this fight, that'd be incredible. Like, I just want, like, Cinder versus RWBY.
I think they will be. I think they'll be involved. Anyway, back to the main story here, which is Cinder's new outfit.
Yes, the most important thing.
Why is it dumb, Delaney?
It's just dumb. Like, I don't like it.
It's
her leather eye patch that crosses her entire face.
Yes, agree. The eye patch is the thing that doesn't fit.
Thank you. Okay, that's it. Look, that's what I hate about it. It's just the eye patch.
Cinder went full goth, and I am here for
it. She's a leather eye patch.
She looks incredible. The best look we've seen from Cinder all show. That's my take.
I was like, wrong. Up to her hip. That's it. That's her look. It's fine. It's fine. It's a fine look, but like that's all her look is.
Look, I'm just saying it's working for me, okay? Like, this Cinder is,
okay.
And that's fine. I'm just here, and I'm drooling over Winter. It's fine.
Like, okay. It's a very divisive outfit, if our Discord's any indication.
Okay, Dylan, I'll say this. I don't hate the outfit, but I'm, like, not, like, fully on board like you are.
Just hate her eye patch. That's it. It's like
but the eye patch, I would burn that eye patch if I could. Like, I want her to, like, dramatically pull the eye patch off at some point in the fight, and her have, like, a grim eye. Like, I want that to happen so bad.
That's plausible.
It's more than plausible, Dylan. I need it to happen.
Why Cinder got a whole new ensemble? Maybe she had it last season. I don't remember. I don't think so.
I think she might have had part of it, but like she upped it.
Neo's in the same outfit. That we talked about. That outfit's definitely working for Neo, but she's kept on it. Yeah, I guess because she's disguising herself.
Oh my god. Okay, can I talk about Neo now, Dylan?
What do you want to say about Neo?
Because Cinder, like, says something to Neo, and Neo does like her like signature eye roll, but no one can see it. Like she's doing it to like herself. She's doing it for her own benefit and no one else's. And like I don't know if I love this or hate it, but it's like Neo.
This is what Neo does now. She just rolls her eyes at things.
She rolls her eyes at the camera now, I guess.
She's Jim. Like she's
Jim. She's
not our Jim,
Jim
like
now.
Jim from The Office. Like she's
sorry, not Jim.
not a established secondary character on the show. Jim from The Office. Yeah, and she just reacts to the audience now. That's all she does.
I guess she does. And like I love like this scene is the most Neo scene ever, Dylan, because we see her become someone or unbecome someone. We see her roll her eyes and we see her acknowledge her hat. Like this is the most Neo scene that has ever existed.
Bringing them back into play is fun because they are ostensibly opposed, not online with the Salem team, but at the same time, a lot of us think Neo is going to betray Cinder.
Oh yeah, I would love if she betrayed Cinder because then that's actually an interesting villain.
Yeah, so
I
definitely
want
hope this
to join Team RWBY.
Yeah, I think the long-term Zuko, like clearly.
Right. I mean, she's. Is that a good or a bad yell?
Well, no. I'm saying this is like in line with the rest of the Avatar stuff, where it's like a worse version of.
She has an eye thing.
Yeah,
she can't. Well, Cinder can't be redeemed. She just wants.
She can't.
She's just gonna ruin like Salem's life, which is fine.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I hope that they're not just here, that they're involved in the action in the last 4 episodes. I think I'm fine with holding them off until now. Like it really caused me a lot of emotional distress, but it's like it's only because I had no faith that they would actually bring them back here because they write off characters for seasons all the time. This one they can't do that after they set them up last season because then they'd be setting them up for nothing. But
that means I say like that means like they wouldn't do it, like setting them up for nothing.
No, I thought that they would set them up for nothing because this show does stupid things all the time. But actually, it's good if they are here and do so. If this was it and they're just like in this and then maybe the finale, then it's bad. But it's not as bad as not putting them in there at all. But I don't know. Needs to be in the action. A lot of interesting betrayal kind of things in play with them here. Yeah. So and. More optimistic now that we're past the Watts reveal and we are have Neo and Cinder in play. I'm actually kind of optimistic for the last 4 episodes.
I think they're all just gonna be fights. There's gonna be fights and nothing else.
Well, remember, so this is what we do in RWBY seasons. We always forget about it, but they end the season with like a 3 or 4 part finale because they do have like action set piece that has like 2 parts to it. Last season, I think the last 3 episodes, and then it transitioned to a last episode big grim thing. So I do think we're kind of in the finale now.
Like, okay, so does this like what are the big like finale fights then? Like one of them is definitely like Robin and Tyrion and Crow, but like is the other one going to be like RWBY versus Cinder or something? Like is that going to be like a big deal fight this season?
And Ironwood said he was he'd take care of finding Watts and Tyrion.
Yeah.
While currently Team RWBY's going after Grimm. I think it could switch into anything. I think like, basically
we might get a Winter versus Cinder fight as like a maiden fight this season.
That'd be fantastic.
Like I would be down for that.
Also, right, like in the last 4 episodes, the current maiden's going to die, and Winter will get the powers, or someone will get the powers.
Yeah, someone is going to get the powers. Yeah. We might see like. I'd be fine if Winter does it and we just give more power to Cinder and she becomes like even more powerful.
Cinder's trying to be the Avatar.
Yeah, she is. Because she's the only one that's like genre savvy. And she's like, why has no one ever tried to do this before?
I think Miles and Karen and everyone just watched Avatar and were like, it'd be good. Avatar Zuko. Okay, that's Cinder.
Basically.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It could be cool. We'll see what they do. I think basically anything could happen here. And there's Elephant Grimm. That's cool.
Oh my god. Like someone, I can't even. I just like, I just want cool fights and people being flirty that I want being flirty and like actually like resolution to their relationships. Like we could have gotten Bumblebee kissing over Adam's dying body, but we didn't last season, so we missed that opportunity. Like we need them kissing over something else now, Dylan. Like what? Like they need to like kiss over like a bunch.
Tyrion would be almost as good. Tyrion's dead
like
body.
if it was just a pile of dead Grimm, like I'd be.
What if Bumblebee kisses while holding Tyrion's detached tail after they kill him?
Dylan, that would be literally calling me specifically out, and I don't know what to think about that.
I think you would just have have die on this? I don't know, like
I don't know how I could even
ascend into heaven immediately upon seeing
soul
that.
Would leave my body.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I don't know what I would do on a podcast about that, Dylan. I would just feel like I would be screaming the whole podcast as if I don't already.
Yeah. So look, all of this, it's possible. All of this is possible. And Tyrion's definitely dying, so that's good.
Oh my god,
for that, Tim.
I can't wait for the crazy death scene. I can't wait for Crow to murder Tyrion.
Yeah. Crow could also die. One of them's dying.
Dylan, no. It's going to be Clover. Clover's dying for Crow. Crow cannot die as long as Clover exists.
Yeah. Okay, so we're building up to our early February finale. I don't know. Has it been confirmed there's this many episodes? That's what I saw on Wikipedia. But
no, I don't think they've announced anywhere how many episodes.
I'm not sure. I think we're just assuming it's 13.
Like, they didn't even announce last season how many episodes there were. They just kind of implied there were 13 episodes last season.
Yeah,
and didn't
maybe
actually.
They said it to RT First members or something. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't know. So I do have a VRV subscription. Let's remember. Okay, I do. I got that.
I'm Delaney, RT First.
RT, you actually have RT First right now?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed. Okay, you got to watch Genlock.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was worth it for that. Not for RWBY.
I'm probably gonna watch No Meta Nowhere too.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know anything about that.
I've heard there's gays.
I don't know.
Okay.
One of the main characters is a lesbian, so.
Well, okay. There's some actual stuff in Genlock, and there's actual queer stuff. It's good.
Delaney watched it.
I watched Genlock. I've watched all of Genlock.
Oh, whatever. This isn't.
Delaney's caught up on a lot of stuff. Okay, final thoughts, Delaney, on RWBY though.
This was fine. I'm glad that we're getting somewhere. I agree with you though. I am excited for the last couple episodes. I think I'm really excited about the finale.
Nice. And by the finale, you mean the remaining 3 to 5 episodes.
Correct.
Yeah, that's how it works. Okay.
3 to 5.
That's. I think. We can say with confidence 3 to 5. Final thoughts, Sarah.
My final thought is that I'm still building up to a bunch of rants, Dylan. A bunch of them.
Good. Me too.
But there is one specifically that I keep hinting at that's boiling under the surface constantly, and I'm already ready to decide. I've already decided that it's not happening, but it's I have to wait. I have to wait till it actually is confirmed not happening. But I'm I am gonna be so mad in the finale, Dylan. Just so mad.
Mark down that finale pod. That's going to be a good one.
It's going to be it's going to be literally a 10-minute rant because I'm so upset about it.
Look, there is a lot of we've been patient with a few different things here, so we're waiting for the finale.
I'm not being patient. They did the. I can't yet. Not yet.
Look, you're 3 to 5 more weeks. Okay,
3 to 5 more weeks. I'll just say playing into all the problems with this type of representation, and I'm very upset.
Okay. No, we know. We understand what you're talking about,
Dylan.
Sarah. We understand. You mentioned it once or twice. Okay.
I've mentioned it every podcast since it happened on Twitter. Okay.
Thinking on Twitter. RWBY Twitter. Wow.
It wasn't even RWBY Twitter. It was one of the crew members tweeted it. They couldn't even do it on the main
that's
account.
what you mean. The tweet. Yeah. We know.
I know, Dylan. Okay. I'm just mad about it still. I'm still mad about it.
That's the right mindset for RWBY podcast. So I think this was a good one. Let us know what you thought of all of the things we're mad about. It's a lot of mad discussion relative to what I thought was a better episode for the show, but it happens. It happens with RWBY. So let us know. Overlyanimated.com. Come talk about with us on our Discord, overlyanimated.com/Discord. And subscribe to us to not miss future RWBY podcasts everywhere. YouTube.com/overlyanimated. Support us via Patreon, patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Andres. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, Ryan, Steve, Alex, Beatrice, Hugh, Michael, and Needle. Back for RWBY next week. Probably I'll be hosting that one. And I don't think we have a title that I saw yet, but I haven't checked. So looking forward to it. Will the Bumblebee kiss happen next week? Probably not. That's the only thing. That's what we're looking for. I don't see a title yet. Sad. Okay. We'll see. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.